plastic packaging, plastic bags, plastic cups, plastic boxes, and etc. What happens to those items after they're used?
Dùng xong mình cũng vứt bỏ luôn.
Những hộp giấy với lại bịch nilon khi dùng xong thì vứt đi ạ.
Những cái túi ni lông, bịch sữa và những cái mà người ta đã dùng rồi thì người ta sẽ bỏ.
However, there is somewhere that collects and buys those seemingly worthless discarded plastic items.
It's time to stop complaining, stop saying like, oh, there's plastic everywhere, giving some value to those plastic.
Tái sử dụng rồi tái chế thì nó rất là quan trọng.
Nếu mà mọi người chung tay thì chúng ta có thể giảm thiểu lượng nhựa trên trái đất này.
Because plastic and people are the problem, but plastic and people are also the solution. That's why the name came up and say Plasticpeople.
Over 350 million tons of plastic is produced annually around the world. Less than 15% is collected or recycled. Traditional recycling seems no longer an effective long-term solution as it only focuses on recycling high-value plastics. So let's talk about this story and more with our guest today. Well, first of all, welcome to Talk Vietnam, Nano.
Thank
How are
you.
you today?
I'm good, thank you. Happy to be here. Yeah.
And you brought here so many items. And I see here there's a 100% upcycled. What does it mean?
Oh, there is a difference. Some people call it upcycle, some people call it recycle. But what it means mainly is that 100% of every single material that is in that box comes from garbage.
Okay.
Is recycled. We don't add any glue, any resin, any binding agent, or even colors. I mean, the colors that we have here are colors from the garbage directly to our material.
I don't know that garbage could be that colorful.
Oh, it's beautiful. I mean,
And it's beautiful.
People that work in Plasticpeople, what we want is when someone see a final product, they cannot believe that it's recycled.
Exactly. Yeah.
And when that happens, it's like, done it.
Satisfied.
Yes.
Looking at one product,
Yeah.
do you know like what source of waste does it come from? Is it made of?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We know because it's really important when we are recycling. I mean,
For example, let's say this mirror, do you know what kind of waste?
yes. Yes,
that,
exactly.
you know.
I know exactly the composition. I mean, we make the composition.
Okay.
And even if we check in our system, I can tell you where it comes from.
Okay.
Because when you work with waste and you're touching the waste,
Right.
the waste has to be safe,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And there is only one way to know that it's safe or not, is what it comes from and where does it come from.
Right. So the
So,
traceability
The
of
traceability,
the waste.
exactly. So
Okay.
this is something that Plasticpeople take very, very, very seriously, because if you're going to have a table and you're going to eat on that table, we need to be sure that that table is safe.
Right.
Despite the tests that we can do and the certification that we get it. But despite that, is from our way of making businesses, for our way of making this product, is we need to be sure what do we use to
Right.
know what it's going to be useful. We're really proud of what we did with these hotels. Only on the trays, on the tissue boxes, and the signatures for the doors.
This one, yeah.
Yeah, and some coasters. We used, for two of those hotels, we use around 2.5 tons of waste.
Okay,
That
that's
is
a lot.
now in the hotel,
Okay.
being used every day.
Yeah.
And this is something that blows your mind, is when you see, for example, a restaurant in Cambodia, from one of our supporters from the beginning, from here, they use 8 tons of plastic waste in their restaurant.
Yeah.
And it's everywhere. It's the facade, and it's the bins, the tables. It's incredible how, when we make these materials, we don't know how far can it go. When I was 5, I was talking with my mom, and I was saying that I wanted to change the world, and my mom used to say, "You're only one person, you cannot." when I started this with my partner, we were two people only, and we were changing the world.
Right.
And we realized that it's not that we are changing the world, we're just giving a tool for everybody to change the world.
Yeah.
You know, it's not about a superhero that comes and fixes everything. No. It's someone that gives you the opportunity
Right.
to jump in, and from your side, start doing something that changes the world. That is what we stand for, definitely. And there is something that I found in Vietnam that I don't find in any other place, is that when people realize that they are doing something good for their land, their country, their people, they take it really seriously. They take it really personal. It's like, okay, I'm working with you for a better Vietnam, for a better area, for a better, cleaner environment, you know?
Right.
And when people come to us and to my team and say, thank you for what you're doing, that doesn't happen in my country. That doesn't happen in other countries. It's a very unique trait, and it's what fills your gas tank to say, wow, well, you know, we're being noticed by the people. We're being appreciated.
Right.
And that gives you strength to keep pushing forward.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Plasticpeople has collaborated with many companies, restaurants and hotels to assist them with recycling. Recently, Plasticpeople had an outstanding project with Pizza for Peace restaurant in Phnom Penh, Cambodia. More than 7.8 tons of recycled plastic waste were used to outfit the restaurant. Most of the furniture and canopies were made from recycled plastic and used state-of-the-art designs to match the restaurant's decorative theme. As a result, the designs has garnered many positive reviews from customers.
One question is about the safety of the products that you brought here. Maybe can you elaborate more to us? Let's say it's a restaurant that serves food, right? Yeah. So, I mean, is there any kind of certificate or things that they require from you guys to prove the safety of the product?
Of course. And every industry has their rules and the certification process and everything. And this is why we are so happy with our materials, because we had to go, like any other material, through all these processes to certify that if we're good, if we're not good. I mean, what number of fireproofing is, I mean, it's going to burn, but you have different numbers. So when someone calls you, it's like, oh, your material is number 5, number 4, and you have to have all this technical sheet of the material. For sure. Yeah, it's our way to show the people that that we thought about it and it's a good material. The same, for example, some partners, they want to know that we are totally legal, that we treat our employees well. All these things are from the beginning of the company.
I see. And what about the durability of the products?
Well, there are two things. This is a new product. The mixes and everything are new. We are a new company, so we're 4 years old. I cannot tell you it's going to be 20 years of durability, because you're going to tell me, how do you know? The first one was 4 years ago.
Right.
So our warranty now is 4 years. It's 5 years, sorry. Next year it's going to be 6 and so on. But I am really positive that this can be 15, 20 years of durability. Easy.
That's long.
Yes, and the process to get this number so high, it's a quite expensive testing process and long testing process that we are not yet there to afford, but that we're going to do it soon.
I see.
To be able to say 10 years warranty.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. So what about these products? They are recycled products, but can they be recycled?
Oh, yeah. Those products are 100% recycle and 100% recyclable. We try these products to recycle over and over on the same product, up to 20 times in some, 25 times in another, and they get better and better. Because as we don't work in really high temperatures, the polymer is more resistant to the recyclability. The normal recycle, you can recycle, for example, a bottle 6-7 times only.
Right.
And it gets degraded.
I see.
This one, because we don't work in so high temperatures and the process is not chemical, it's more
Organic.
mechanical.
Mechanical.
It's mechanical recycling, they call it.
Yeah.
We can recycle more times. Yeah.
Okay.
Plastic waste, such as bottles, jars, and bags, can be found in every corner of the planet.
And we ask ourselves, what can we do to solve this problem? It's time to stop complaining, stop saying, like, oh, there's plastic everywhere, no one cares. Plastic have a really good properties. Chance is because it's a very malleable, very easy to make, very cheap, and solve most of the problems in our daily lives. It's possible to mix some of the plastics that no one uses, that no one collects, and do something useful out of that. Plastic waste can become a useful, nice furniture for your home or your office.
When I was a kid, I always wanted to change the world. And I remember that everybody was telling me, you cannot change the world because you are only one person. Or it was fate that I met Nestor and Nestor met me. And one person met the other person and then together start pushing and meet other people. That's how it starts.
Nano Morante, an Argentinian, and Nestor Catalan, a Spaniard, jointly made a bold move to establish Plasticpeople, a startup project specializing in recycling waste in Vietnam, in September 2019. They started on a modest scale and a small budget of around $7,000. They firmly believe that with their knowledge and expertise, they could take practical actions to reduce single-use plastic waste that fills up landfills and pollutes the living environment. Over the past 4 years, 650 tons of post-consumer plastic waste, such as bottles, cups, boxes, and bags, have been 100% recycled. Plasticpeople currently employs about 30 workers. All of them are local people who share the same wish to make even small contributions to protecting the environment.
Thông qua các cái kênh truyền thông, tôi vô tình biết được. Và ngay trong tuần sau là tôi đến đây và tôi xin tôi làm việc ở đây. Tôi rất vui khi mà có thời gian rảnh là tôi đến đây tôi làm. Tôi đến đây tôi làm tất cả mọi công việc theo sự phân công của quản lý trực tiếp. Từ công tác phân loại, rồi phối trộn nguyên vật liệu, sắp xếp lại kho bãi, nhà xưởng, tái sử dụng, rồi tái chế thì nó rất là quan trọng. Một bài toán rất là lớn mà nó đòi hỏi sự vào cuộc của tất cả các bên. Nhưng mà tôi nghĩ mỗi cá nhân cần phải nâng cao ý thức.
From a recycling company formed by 2 people, Plasticpeople now has 30 members in their team and is gaining more recognition in Vietnam's plastic waste recycling sector. All of the company's members aim to build a world that strives to reduce plastic waste and mitigate environmental pollution.
Now I want to go back a little bit. Yeah, I want to go back to the very early day when you first started this project in Vietnam. You did everything from A to Z by yourself, and I believe maybe with your partner. How was that process? Because the first step is always challenging, right?
I was living in Hong Kong. I didn't like it there.
Yeah.
I have a friend here that told me, come to Vietnam, and I didn't know anything about Vietnam, and I said, let's go to Vietnam. When I got here, I fell in love with the organized chaos that is this, and I love that possibilities that the freedom that you have here gives you.
Right.
And every time you go to a new place or you start living in a new place, you can reinvent yourself to be whoever you want to be.
Right.
And I love that. And I came here and I stayed. I was working totally different thing for 4 years. Actually, 3 different things for 4 years.
Yeah.
And then I decided to leave. When I was 1 foot outside the country, I met Nestor. We started talking about plastic. And he was doing something, and I joined. And then we decided to start Plasticpeople.
Yeah.
I never had a company. I never worked for a company. I was a freelance for 25 years. And suddenly I decided to start a company. We were 9 people a year ago.
Right.
We were processing maybe 300 kilos per day, 200 kilos per day. We were days that we didn't have projects or something like that. Today we're processing a ton per day.
Yeah.
We are running late on our production with our clients because we have more clients than the production capacity that we have.
Right.
And we're 30 people. That's, wow.
Yeah.
You know? And you realize that and you say, that was a good decision to stay here.
So I wonder where's that passion of waste treatment come from?
We created this company based on values. It's not only the product. The product is a byproduct that comes from the impact, from the social impact that we can
Oh, I
create.
see. Yeah.
So
you see more of these like a social issue that's still unsolved?
Definitely.
Okay.
And it's worldwide. It's not only here. I think that actually Vietnam is quite developed on the way that they are pushing for helping more and for tackling more the pollution and the plastic. But it's all over the world that you have people with high income, people with no income, and being able to build a sustainable economy, sustainable circular economy on plastic waste when they don't have anything else to do.
Okay.
And they are just collecting the garbage.
Right. Got you.
And we buy it.
Hôm nay cùng mình thu gom, phân loại và tái chế rác thải nhựa nhá. Plasticpeople đã hướng dẫn mình tái chế rác thải nhựa như thế nào. Tất cả các loại nhựa cứng, nhựa dẻo, thậm chí là khẩu trang trước đây mình vứt đi thì bây giờ chỉ cần rửa sạch và thu gom lại được hết. Giờ mình có thói quen là bỏ nhựa không dùng tới vào chỗ mũi tên đây nè. Sau vài tháng thì bịch nhựa to hơn người mình. Mình dành 1 tiếng ra để phân loại. Có nhựa dai này, vỏ hộp sữa này, nhựa giòn này, vỏ bim bim, xốp. Và rồi vào một buổi sáng đẹp trời, mình liên hệ với các bạn thủ kho trước và book một chuyến Grab qua kho của các bạn ở thành phố Thủ Đức. Các bé nhựa sẽ được đưa tới kho để hồi sinh thành những đồ vật xinh xinh trong nhà như thế.
This girl is one of many people who collect waste at source and sends it to Plasticpeople. About every 3 days, Minh Thư, a Pizza4P's employee, sends plastic waste sorted by her to the Plasticpeople factory in Thủ Đức City.
Tụi mình là nhà hàng thì các loại nhựa mà tụi mình thường gặp phải là ví dụ như là hộp xốp khi mà giao đồ ăn hoặc là túi ni lông. Thì những cái loại sản phẩm nhựa này thì bên mình sẽ phân loại và cố gắng rửa sạch và gửi cho Plasticpeople để có thể xử lý. Mình cũng rất là thích cái mô hình của họ. Thì khi về nhà thì mình mang những cái hành động xanh này về với gia đình mình. Thì từ đó thì gia đình mình cũng bắt đầu phân loại nhựa ra và xử lý nhựa. Và khi nào số lượng nhựa đầy thì mình gửi đến cho Plasticpeople để nhờ họ có thể xử lý. Khi mà bắt đầu thì có thể là cảm giác rất là khó khăn, nhưng mà khi mà chúng ta đã tạo được những thói quen tốt thì thói quen tốt này cũng có thể lan tỏa tới nhiều người khác. Thì sau đó thì mình nghĩ là nó cũng có thể giảm thiểu được cái vấn đề nhựa.
From relying on traditional plastic waste suppliers at first, Plasticpeople is now gradually independent in its raw material input, owing to close cooperation with organizations capable of sorting plastic waste at source. Plastic materials are gathered through cooperative programs with offices, apartments, schools, shops, and restaurants that share environmental concerns.
So now I'm wondering how many tons of waste do Plasticpeople recycle by now?
Since we started processing 2 kilos per day whenever we were processing, when me and Nestor, or Nestor and me, we were working together. Until now that we're processing 1 ton per day.
1 ton per day?
1 ton per day. We're reaching the 800 tons in total that we had process.
Yeah.
800 tons. And the most important thing is that all those 800 tons are being sold. They have a second life.
Right.
Because there is a lot of projects that I mean, making boards of plastic is not rocket science.
Yeah.
You have heat, you put the plastic, you compress with heat, you have a board. But what you put in that board is what makes our products different.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people are just making boards, and they cannot sell it.
Right.
Or they are not good enough, or they are not appealing. So they have in the backyard full of boards, you know.
Okay.
Because, and something that we're proud of is that every single board we make is sold. And it has proud owners that they are saying,
they want to
this
show
is,
everyone
exactly,
the
they want to
products.
show it, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. So from some sort of like hopeless plastic, then you turn it
Exactly.
into an incredible project.
When we started, and I remember we were looking in a landfill with Nestor, and we were like, yeah, they are separating this 20% that is being recycled, and there is this 80% that is not being recycled. So let's start working with that. And we aim to the 80%, and we aim to the plastic that nobody recycles.
I see. But typically, what they do with the 80% of the unrecyclable
I have no
plastic?
idea. Landfills, waste to energy, pyrolysis, processes that they are quite expensive, processes that they are quite polluting.
I see.
I don't want to say that, I'm not saying that here they are polluting or anything. Normally, worldwide, are processes that are not that, or they use a lot of water. We don't use water in our process. A year ago, I was in a discussion, in a panel, talking who's responsible of this. If it's the people, if it's the companies, or is the government. And I think that the government is pushing really hard to change policies and to push companies to stop just running after the dollar and make something for the people.
Right.
And then the people is waiting for people to do something. Either the government or either the companies. And it's three of them together. I mean, everybody's pushing so hard, trying to change something.
Right.
But it has to be together.
Right.
It has to be together.
Yeah, can't agree more.
And one thing that I admire here is how the policies are being made to be more and more and more environmental, to try to change this country that is industrial.
Yeah.
To say, okay, yeah, let's keep doing industry, but let's pay attention to the environment, you know, and it's really important that.
Customers can find a wide range of recycled products produced by Plasticpeople. For example, they sell chairs that are partially or completely made from recycled plastic. Shoppers can also discover some lovely office furniture, souvenirs, or interior decorations. All designs are very distinctive and modern.
So now looking back at what Plasticpeople have done over the years, what are your feelings and thoughts?
I think that my first feeling is gratitude. It's gratitude. I mean, when my partner decided he wanted to go back to Spain and start his life there, and I realized today I never felt alone. I have a team that is incredible. I don't see them as employees. I see them as teammates, and I don't believe that I would be here today if it wouldn't be for them, because of them. I think it's the most beautiful experience that I have in Plasticpeople is the team that I have.
It's the team, it's the people.
We put ourselves in a really tough goal that we need to increase our production by 10 times.
Oh, wow. Okay.
By the end of 2023.
Oh, okay. So there's another interesting project from your company, which is building houses for flood-prone areas.
Yeah, for the flood areas. Well, we've been a couple of years ago, we did a test with social enterprise in Mekong. Very, very interesting people that are doing amazing things in the Mekong area. And they wanted to try to build houses, social houses with plastic, so with our materials. So they tried it. We built 2 or 3. The people were happy. There are many, many things that plastic is better than metal. The heat transmission, the noise when it rains, the insulation of temperature as well.
Yeah.
But we still need to go through all the certification process on the most affected parts for the floods. And if you have a house made of wood, when the flood comes, that wood is going to get rotten. If you make it by plastic, the flood comes, goes, and the plastic is like, because it's plastic.
Right.
So I wanted to do something bigger. Unfortunately, we had to keep it on the side for a bit until we grow the capacity, because we need more capacity to be able to say, okay, we're not going to build one house or 2 houses. We want to build as many as needed.
Right.
And in the meantime, doing all the tests of the materials, the physical tests and everything, to be sure that everything is fine. Mainly that the material is resistant enough, and which I did the test, but I need the official test.
Right.
So I cannot say, nano knows. No.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, the idea is to work with universities for architects, for architecture, to design houses, low-cost houses, built with our materials. Yeah. And that the people, because we have connections with NGOs and with funders, with the fund, that the people can pay their houses with garbage. Yeah. I hope that next year we can bring it back. Right. Step by step, right?
And I hope that it will create social impacts and bringing good things to the people, vulnerable people. Yeah.
Plastic items, the so-called nightmare of the recycling industry, such as straws, snack packs, and lunch boxes, are neatly arranged, cleaned, sorted, crushed, measured, sanded, and smoothed. The whole process gives a new life cycle to waste from the Plasticpeople factory, turning them into recyclable materials. Later, they will be transferred to processing workshops to be transformed into useful creations such as tabletops, chairs, wall panels, phone holders, and restaurant and hotels utensils. Nhut's carpentry workshop has been collaborating with Plasticpeople for over 4 years to reduce plastic waste and seek alternative materials for sustainability.
Nhựa là nó cứng hơn và nó dai hơn. Nó dai nên khi mình làm nguội rất là nó sẽ mau mòn với nhám chẳng hạn. Đó, thì gỗ thì mình xử lý nó nhanh, nhưng mà tương lai cũng làm và các công ty sản xuất nguyên vật liệu cũng đang ứng dụng phối một phần nào đó có nhựa chứ không thể làm gỗ hết. Bây giờ gỗ nó cũng cạn kiệt rồi. Đam mê và mình cũng thích góp phần nào đó để cho xây dựng cái tương lai cho tụi trẻ của con chúng mình á.
The Plasticpeople factory also makes specialized roofing sheets to donate to charity houses for those in need in Vietnam's Mekong Delta and flood-prone areas.
There is one thing that we realize of our material. When the flood comes to a house made of wood, the wood gets rotten. When the flood comes to a house that is made of cement, cement can take 1, 2. But then the water starts getting inside the cement, inside the walls, and the walls are going to start falling. When the flood comes to a plastic wall, nothing happens. We could help some people, we could get some materials a week or a day faster than a family has a roof on their heads. And this make a huge change.
You transform all types of plastic waste into useful, safe and beautiful panels.
Yeah.
Who will turn these panels into useful stuff?
Creative people. It can be used by contractors, manufacturers, workshops, but it has to go through the minds of designers, architects. Those are the guys that they are opening the doors to our materials, and then the contractors are the guys that take the design and make it happen. Right?
Yeah.
Or furniture makers. We're working with furniture makers in US, in Australia, in Europe. The industry of furniture here in Vietnam is huge, which is really, really, really nice as an evolving of the economy. And we always knew that if we get a little bit in, it could grow a lot.
Okay, so how do you process in terms of technology or procedures to make sure that your product don't create any potential harm?
We don't use water, that's for sure. That's something that the process for us to separate the plastic from the dirt, for example, has to be physical. It has to be mechanical. Unless it's chemical. If it's chemical, we have a partner that they are a big recycler, and they have a water treatment process and everything. So before we choose our partners, we know that it's entirely environmental.
Yeah.
So whatever is chemical or cleaning or something like that, they clean it, and they send us back the clean plastic. Because we don't work in high temperatures of the plastic, the fumes of the plastic are not toxic.
Okay.
Because we're not burning the plastic. We did our own homemade measurements, and the fumes are not toxic. That's why we don't deal with a couple of kinds of plastic that when they get heat, when they get hot, it gets toxic.
Okay.
Like for example PVC. So we don't have that. And then we try to filter the air as much as we can, be safe on the source. I think that knowing your source of material is the best way of taking care of all the process that comes after, even the product at the end.
Right.
We receive the plastic, we separate it by kind, color, whatever we need. Then we start crushing it in small pieces, and then we start mixing it with other plastics that we understand. For this we have a recipe, for this we have a recipe, so we start creating with the materials that we have and the orders that we have.
I'm just wondering, during the grinding process, does that create like plastic dust?
It does, of course. I mean, cutting plastic or crushing plastic is gonna create dust. There are some that can be filtered, but at the end of the day, when I had people saying about the microplastics and all the stuff, it's like for every ton that we process of plastic, where the percentage of microplastics can be 70. So it's like 0.0000001% of microplastics.
Okay.
So, but if you don't treat that ton is going to be a ton of microplastics in 10 years.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
So, yes, we're working to perfection the process. We're always trying to make it safer and cleaner. For our employees, of course, it's 100% safe. This is something that we started from the beginning. We don't want anyone to be in danger of any kind. But yeah, for the rest of the environment, it has to be more filtered and everything. That is a matter of investment and machinery.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Do you get good responses from the locals?
Oh yeah. The responses of the locals are amazing, and not only the individuals, but for example, the youth union, the women union, the schools, a group of students that they contact us and they say, oh, we want to do a project, we want to do a cleanup, we want to do this, we want to do that. Individuals, we had this amazing woman that was cycling all Vietnam and collecting plastic while she was cycling and sending us the plastic so we can process it. So I think that the most impactful thing is the society itself, how they react to what we do and how they want to work with us and make us part of it. And that's incredible, because it's like someone is opening the door of their house for you to pass in, you know, and welcome you. And we love that we are part of it.
So the products made by Plasticpeople have been exported to what countries?
Yes, we've been talking, and exporting is a long process, and mainly getting clients outside is a long process. But we export, we send our products to UK, to Spain, to Australia, South Africa, Asian countries, US, so and discovering markets. And the funny part is that we didn't go offering; they came asking.
Okay.
It's crazy that people around the world know about us.
Yeah.
I think that the new direction of the company is going to be first the scale up of production, this huge step that we're going to do to 2,000 tons per year. And in the same time is opening in Cambodia, Philippines, Indonesia. I think that, yes, Plasticpeople has to be replicated in other countries. And always in my heart, I have, I do believe that Plasticpeople in Africa can make a huge change. So personally, that's my next step. Once everything is working fine here and we're stable, is developing Plasticpeople in Africa countries.
Okay.
Sure.
So is there anything else you would love to share with the audience of Talk Vietnam?
I think that the most important thing is to understand that we are the change. We don't have to blame anyone. We don't have to expect anyone. It's now, and it's a decision. And it's not something that has to be, that you have to take time to think about. So no. It's now. It's a decision, and you can start right now. We are in Hanoi as well, receiving waste in Hanoi with our partner in Hanoi. So it's just contact us, get your hands wet a little bit, rinsing your plastic, and send it to us, because that's how we make the bigger change.
Well, thank you so much for what you brought to Talk Vietnam today, and with more awareness on how to deal with plastic waste. I believe that by joining hands, we would achieve our goal together.
Definitely. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I really enjoy being here. And yeah, let's hope that we can get more people involved.
The idea of recycling plastic waste from collection points without breaking the traditional habit of dealing with waste in many Vietnamese households seems a simple starting point. Because it is simple, it is actionable, and has created results. It is in line with Plasticpeople's belief that everyone can be a part of the solution, from corporations, local businesses, manufacturers, to schools and the community. And I believe this is their key to success. Hopefully more people will join hands with them as we all create waste during our lifetime here on this planet. And that's it for Talk Vietnam. Thank you very much for watching and see you again next time.
Tái chế mà tái chế chất thải nhựa, tôi thấy là một cái hướng đi rất là tốt cho toàn nhân loại và tôi quyết định là tôi tham gia vào đây.
Plastic waste can become a useful, nice furniture for your home or your office.
Plastic is good. The problem is how we use it. So if we know how to use it, if we know how to pick it up, to be upcycled, is where we can solve the problem of the plastic.